You can literally know everything there is about healthy eating, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat. You can know everything you know about how to get fit, how to tone, which exercises to do, and yet still not be able to walk it out. Why is that? Because of our emotional attachments to food. I'm KIESHA Easley. I am an author of the book called Worth the Wait. That is a book where I share my journey of how I lost 75 pounds naturally by changing my eating habits. What I discovered was that the reason why I had been struggling for years was because I was an emotional eater and didn't even know it. And you might be an emotional eater and not even know it. This is how I found out. When I started my health journey, I decided what I was going to do, which plan I was going to follow. I decided to follow the Gundry plan because it just made so much sense to me based on what I had been experiencing with inflammation and joint pain. But once I got started, the first day, I realized I wasn't hungry. And yet I wanted to eat because I was bored or because I was stressed or something had happened and I was feeling very anxious. And what I came to realize was that I was using food to kind of cover those things up. Maybe there's some emotion I didn't want to deal with. Or there were times where I literally felt like if I don't eat this piece of candy or this cookie, I might lose my mind. It was almost like I was afraid to see how far that emotion would go. And the cookie helped me to keep from going there. I didn't know that until I started reflecting on things in my journey. So if you eat when you're happy, you eat when you're sad, bored, stressed, all of those things, or even as a reward for a hard day's work, that's emotional eating. So how do you separate yourself from that? How do you free yourself from that? Well, you've got to do some reflective work. Once you've made a decision that you're going to eat right, that you're going to follow a certain plan, you've got to, like, when you have those cravings and you know you're not hungry because you literally just ate maybe an hour ago, you have to ask yourself some questions. Questions like, why do I want to eat this? I know I'm not hungry, and not only that, but I know it's not good for me. I know I'm literally putting my health in jeopardy when I eat these things. Why do I still want to do that? Those are the kind of reflective questions I'm talking about. Other questions you could ask yourself are that really kind of help you pinpoint what's going on with you are the rest of those 5W questions. You know, the who, what, when, where, why, and sometimes how. You could ask yourself those questions. Who's around when I start having these cravings? What am I doing when I'm having these cravings? How am I feeling before? Where am I? Those questions reveal so much more than you can imagine. The who will tell you, is there a lack of support? Are you around people who are constantly eating? Are you not around anyone and you're lonely and that's your response? The what was I doing? Maybe you have been working nonstop, no break, and you literally have basic needs that you need to take care of. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. The where question, maybe you're at work. Maybe you haven't prepared. Maybe you didn't bring a lunch. and you're just there and now you're hungry. Or maybe you're working too hard and you feel stressed. There's lots of things that can be revealed when you just stop and ask yourself some questions. Another thing to do is to assess, like, not just your mental health and where you are emotionally, but where are you spiritually? Are you spending time nurturing your spirit? Are you doing things that make you feel connected to your faith? Those are all things that cause us to feel voids that we want to fill with food. Maybe you're the person who takes care of everyone, but you're not taking care of yourself. Maybe your schedule is filled with everything that you're doing for everybody, but you don't have enough time left for self-care. If you plan to ever get a handle on emotional eating, you're going to have to take time to dig up and figure out what the root is of your emotional eating. And that can be challenging, and it takes time. When I was on my journey, it took me 8 months to lose 75 pounds. I know when you heard that, you were like, what? But it took me 8 months. That means it was an ongoing process of me figuring out, why am I having these cravings and what I can do about it. Also discovered that you have to address the biological parts. If you think you can skip out on sleep, not drink enough water, and not eat right, you're not going to be able to adhere to healthy eating patterns. If you think you're going to be able to just starve yourself into a healthy lifestyle, that's not going to work either. So you've got to eat the right foods. What are the right foods? Foods that aren't really processed, foods that don't have a whole lot of unpronounceable ingredients. Foods like broccoli, cabbage, collards, kale, all your leafy greens, lettuce, those green things are the things you need to eat more of. That's the stuff that those are unlimited things you need to get as much into your body as possible. What else is healthy food? Lean meats like chicken, turkey, fish. You can have those, and you can prepare them in a variety of ways. I know we've been told not to fry things, but it really depends on the oil you pick. It really depends on the breading you pick. If you pick alternative flours, you could still fry something in like an avocado oil. You could air fry things. I have an air fryer, and I'm telling you, we have chicken wings that are well seasoned. You can have healthy sauces that you make to put on them. Really, just being willing to eat simple ingredients, lots of vegetables, lean meats, and resistant starches like sweet potatoes, cassava, plantains, things like that, rather than the regular white potatoes and rice. Things made from wheat flour, so like pastas. I know you're like, but everything is better with pasta. What are substitutes? You could try doing zucchini, spiralize it. You can try spiralizing sweet potatoes. I've tried it, it's really good. You could spiralize cassava. I know you're like, well, what are these things? Where do you get these things? Do you have to go to health food stores and spend all this money? No, you do not. I shop at regular stores most times. Aldi is one of my favorite ones. When things are reasonably priced in places like Publix, I go there. Walmart, wherever you can find good prices. So you don't have to go broke, because guess what? I can buy a container of salad greens that can almost last me the whole week for less than $5. Who can say that they spend less than $5 on lunch per week? But it's all about shifting our mindset. If we're honest with ourselves, when we think about how much things really cost, those foods that we think are so expensive are actually less expensive than the medication we would have to buy if we're sick from eating unhealthy food. It's cheaper than hospital bills if you have to stay because of an illness that could be prevented just from eating the right foods. It's all about detaching our emotions from foods. If you say things like, well, I need variety because I get bored, that's a sign that you have an emotional attachment to food and you're trying to use it to entertain. Not saying that you're not supposed to enjoy your food, because I enjoy all my food. I make use of seasonings and real butter, real food. I skip as many of the processed things as I can, and I try. Now, let me say I try, because you don't have to be perfect. Just try to be consistent. I try not to eat when I am not hungry. But you would be amazed how hard that is if you're really honest with yourself. Sometimes we really are eating to soothe ourselves. We really are eating in a response to an emotion. So what do I do when I find myself going for something when I'm not hungry and I know I'm not hungry? I turn to things like herbal teas. I make what I call a healthy cup of hot cocoa, which is made with literally 100% cocoa powder, sweetened with stevia and not sugar, and a little bit of coconut cream. That's a healthy cup of hot cocoa. So I try to make healthier choices. But the thing is, it's still emotional eating. And the more aware that you are of emotional eating, the better you can get a handle on it, and the better you can get a handle on your health. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, my name is KIESHA Easley. I'm a wellness coach and author of Worth the Wait. If you would like to contact me, or you have some other questions that you'd really like to get answered, feel free to reach out to my email address, info@KIESHAEasley.com. I've placed it on the screen for you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful day.